And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Tsenga Varus, who asked the question, who would win a fight? Geralt of Rivia versus the Witcher versus, I think his name's pronounced Talion? Tailion from Shadows over Mordor, or Shadows of Mordor. The Lord of the Rings game. So, should note right off the bat, between these two, I'm going to use the TV show Geralt, because even though I've not played the Witcher games myself, or read the book, I do know enough about them and had to look up what Geralt's capable of. Geralt from the games would wreck shop with him. But let's at least even it out then and use Geralt from the actual TV series. Geralt is, by the way, I just finished The Witcher on Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. It was Sunday, me and my girlfriend finished The Witcher. We loved the series, can't wait for season 2. But Geralt was he's a legendary Witcher of the School of the Wolf. He was born to a sorceress and a man named Corn. Basically, he was sold in childhood given to someone to become a Witcher. Witcher essentially is a mutated human being. Yeah, they are given mutagens, which make them strong, give them magical abilities. However, it does cause certain effects, like the color of their eyes to change. Geralt, in his case, he had usual tolerance for mutagens, so his hair ended up turning white because of the process. Geralt is. It said that throughout the show, at least, it said, "Do Witchers feel emotion?" And Witchers don't feel emotion, which is clearly not true. He's a very cold individual, but he actually does have a lot of emotion. He can love, he can feel joy, he can get angry, he can get sad, can feel happy. So he can feel all these things. It's just that Witchers live for centuries. And it's just clearly that Geralt's I believe it's Geralt. Geralt's a very world-weary individual. So he's just kind of like, I just want to do my job, get paid, and then go to sleep, maybe get laid once in a while, and I'm good. Oh, wait, Yennefer, is that you? I wish to be with the love of my life. So, yeah. But that said, though, Geralt is still a dangerous individual. His talents include things. He's an expert swordsman, like a masterful swordsman. We never actually see him lose a straight-out fight. Think about it. If you saw the series, think about that. We never saw him actually lose a straight-out fight. He got the couple licks got hit on in him. Excuse me. What was the name of the girl? Let me get, because I've got the Netflix up here right now. In episode 1, the girl he fights, the woman he fights, Princess Renifir. She gets a couple hits in, but he ultimately kills her. When he finally took that seriously enough, he just completely disarmed her. He does occasionally bite off a bit more than he can chew when it comes to the creatures he's fighting, but most of the time he makes it out alive, due to the fact that as a Witcher, he has an enhanced healing capability. He literally had a chunk bitten out of his throat, and he still, or his neck, and he came out alive. He survived what I'm pretty certain was a ghoul bite, which would kill any normal person. For him, it was near death, but he was like in a state of, he was tripping balls. So he's very resilient in that regard. He's also clearly physically stronger than a normal man. Physically more durable, stronger, faster, heightened senses. It's not entirely known, though, at least from the show's perspective. What is it? We see him down a little, like a beverage every now and then, like a potion. It's something that heightens his abilities. And you'll excuse my nasaliness. I'm still getting over a cold. But it's something that heightens his abilities. Because occasionally we'll see his eyes just glowing black. Like his eyes go black. He's got these, it radiates outward. But that doesn't seem to be a byproduct of the potion he drinks. That said, though, the Witcher he's also very skilled in alchemy. Clearly, it's something he makes on his own to heighten his abilities. Possibly it's something that he uses to see in the dark. That would actually be my best guess. But we see him using it in the first episode, too, and he wasn't in the dark. He was fighting something in the water. In fact, it was still relatively light out, so maybe it's just something that heightens his abilities. We know he's capable of certain forms of magic. The reason I went with Netflix series Geralt and not game Geralt is because Game Geralt's shown a lot more of his magic than Netflix series Geralt has. With Netflix series Geralt, we've only really seen him use like what's essentially a shout. He basically just fires a concussive blast, like telekinetic blast at individuals, and apparently put like some sort of barrier over the crypt he stayed in to excuse me, save that cursed daughter. Oh, there we go. I had a little something in my throat there. That cleared it up a bit. So he's a very resourceful individual, but he's also someone who tries to avoid combat. With Tailion, let's see, I'm going to say Talion, because it's Lion, which is lion, so Talion. He's the main character of Shadows of Mordor. He had an agreement with, let's see here, a wraith, excuse me, with the spirit Celebrimbors. That spirit was bound to his body, but it betrayed him, so he basically took one of the 9 rings to keep himself alive. Which basically means he's undead. Because he had a wraith in his body, because he was a wraith at the time, he couldn't really die. But once the spirit left him, he stole a ring so he could return from the dead. Which means if he lost the ring, if he dies, he's done. Amplified physical abilities. Stronger than your average individual. His body, more than greatly increased when his wraith powers were activated. But again, the spirit lets us by. If we're going to be fair, though, we might as well just use him when he had the spirit in him, because that's going to be his max abilities then. And amplifies his physical abilities well beyond that of average human being. Domination with his wraith abilities, he can dominate an Uruk. That's not an Urukai. What is that? Uruk, with the hand of the Celebrimbor. With this ability, he can interrogate and get information, kill the Uruk. Is that supposed to be Urukai? Because I don't think that's how you spell Urukai. U-R-U-K? That's not Urukai. That's Uruk. I'm not sure what an Uruk is, I'm going to be honest. These enemies will then perform tasks such as gathering intel. Basically, you can brand and dominate them. Okay. I doubt he can really do that on a Witcher, but okay. Wraith World. He can see within the Wraith's realm. This gives him the ability to see Uruks, other individuals, so forth and so on. Attacks. Talion can round his attacks, causing his sword to glow blue, gain the ability to execute his target or ground slam. He can stun enemies with a single punch, providing an opportunity to strike and temporarily slow down time. To better aim with the bow and arrow, he can use a chain attack, he can also chain an attack, giving him the ability to slice an Uruk's head clean off. Shadow Strike allows him to teleport to his enemy's location and quickly kill them, as well as easily navigate over the terrain. Raise the dead after equipping the ring. Okay, he doesn't have the ring there, but still. Elven Light can strike with his hand, the ground to create a flash of light that kills an enemy in the range. So, Magic the Magic. None of these guys really have anything that overpowers the other. I mean, the flashlight kill an enemy is one thing, but most of the time you're fighting, as far as I know, in the Shadow Mordor game, you're not fighting enemies that wouldn't, like, you're not, with mortal people, I imagine the light probably wouldn't be an instant kill. It could hurt them, but it wouldn't be an instant kill. Even if it would be an instant kill, it's usually a lesser individuals, I'm imagining. Man. Sorry, luckily I have a glass of water here. Ugh, God. It's really just my nose now. It's like really nasally. But the teleportation thing I think would be might be an issue for Geralt. But Geralt has enhanced senses to the point where he'd probably be able to avoid or dodge or block the attack. Maybe like within a split second's worth of time, but he could do it. So these two actually met in combat, what would happen? Geralt, these two. But I think as I still got my voice going, oh, my Geralt voice. Go now if you don't want to die. And then, Talion decides to fight Geralt because reasons. Maybe he thinks beating Geralt will save something or some crap, whatever. Oh, God. So they clash blades. Now, I'll say this. Yes, he's a ranger. Yes, he's got wields multiple swords. But Geralt, you can tell right off the bat if you probably watch. First off, it's a game character, which means the way you fight with a blade is very limited. At least with most games, especially in this type, like a sword and fantasy kind of game. Sword and shield fantasy kind of game. But Geralt, we've seen how skilled of like a swordsman Geralt really is. So I don't think Talion actually beats him in sword skill. I mean, he's probably solid, and he'd probably give Geralt a good fight, but ultimately it wouldn't matter that much. Geralt would probably just be annoyed and just punch him and say, "Stay down, stay down. I don't want to kill you." And then he decides to use the Elven Light and just blind Geralt, or try to instant kill him. Geralt gets blinded temporarily. Then he teleports and tries to kill Geralt from behind. Geralt, though, reacts instinctively or reflexively, blocks it, and then does one of his sides. Just uses what I'm going to call the shout. Blast Tailion back. And basically they go toe to toe again. He slices him down. The Wraith comes out. He's in his Wraith form. Because he's a Wraith, he can't technically die. And here's the thing. I think Geralt, I'm not certain in Witcher if Wraiths exist, but Geralt would recognize this type of, magic, perhaps. He's been around for centuries. He's far older than Talion, so he could definitely pinpoint what's going on here. And instead, knowing that he'll just keep coming back in this case, he tries to actually get the spirit out of his body. So if he can't kill him, he decides just delimb him. He's like, "Don't worry, you're not gonna die. Don't worry, you won't die. But you're going to be sitting here for a while until I can get that fucker out of you." And then basically just goes out and finds a way to get the spirit out of his body. Or, if this is him with the ring that keeps him alive, all Geralt has to do is realize it's that ring, take his hand off, there you go. I think the problem here I see for Talion is that while he's got a lot of good abilities towards him, if I remember correctly, he's pretty well rounded in terms of melee and a few range techniques, and the teleportation technique is pretty impressive as well. Geralt's centuries old, has had experience dealing with guys just like him, individuals who won't die, at least not from the initial killing blow. He has more magical abilities on him in general. He's got more experience with it, I imagine. So I'm going to go with Geralt in this fight, even with the Netflix version. But that being said, what do you think? I'll admit, I never played Shadows of Mordor, so my judgment on this might be a little biased. But I'm trying to be impartial as possible. But given what I know from these guys, I'm going to go with Geralt. There's a reason I went with the Netflix one, because I felt that would give him a better shot. Because honestly, Gang Geralt, there's no way that I think Talion could be Gang Geralt. Given everything he has on him, and he's pretty much this guy bumped up. Because as far as we know, this version of Geralt does know everything that Gang Geralt does. He just hasn't showed it off yet. So maybe season 2 will give us a better indication of what he can really do. Excuse me. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. My money's on Geralt. What is your money on? Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Spirit, Magic, what if, anything to do with the channel, put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.